What's up, YouTube? Alright, so today I'm going to show you a video on my design I have put in place. Still obviously getting all the equipment and stuff to build this. This is so that I can transfer my tank over to a full saltwater. The only thing that may differentiate right now is that the display tank I have may go to a 125 instead of a 40. But the setup that I'm building will be capable of doing that without changing really anything that I won't already know I'll need before I start it. So this is kind of a view of it. Anybody that kind of knows how these systems work will kind of understand. I'm going to explain. I kind of made a little model out of a box. It's by no means up to scale with a few minor changes. So basically, this flap, these two ports signify where the water comes in right here into the back into these filter socks. So they will be underneath this, and they will come down onto this little shelf down here. Then it will fall off of this shelf down into this little area here, which in the picture is right here. That pump will then send it through 2 UV filters, or 1 depending on the one I find. Most likely I'll do 2 smaller ones so that I get a little more time in the UV. Then it will go through what's called an action filter, which has 1,000 mesh little canister filter in there, which will catch anything that doesn't get filtered out through this section that the UV's killed off and everything. Then gets dropped into this section here over this little wall. So that action filter will come right over here, drop it into here. We're going to show this copper pipe is our protein skimmer for now. So that's where the skimmer will sit. So it'll come over that little wall, drop down in there, get sucked into the skimmer. The skimmer is going to get plumbed into this little crevice here. Will be a box that it'll get plumbed into, so it'll drain the water after being skimmed directly into this, which will kill this filter bed. Will end up killing a lot of that micro bubble. Then it will come underneath here into this main part of the refugium, which, as of right here, this is the original design. I have my heater, my little frag rack, and circulation pump, and the light, and all that nonsense to get all that stuff going. The changes I made to it, because I'm going to have a few gobies in there once I get this set up. And everybody says that copepods are always a trouble to keep on hand without them eating them too fast. So what I'm going to do is kind of divide this. I'm going to make a divider for this section out of basically breeding net material so that all my water will circulate. This back section will basically be closed off, minus circulating through here. And this will be where all my copepods and stuff get to breed and everything. And then this first section will have, my little crabs or snails or whatever in there. It'll go through this media filter here, which the wall on that will have a notch cut down in it like that, so it drains over easier here than doesn't try and push this way. Goes down and then into this slot where my return pumps will be that send it back up to the tank, which in the picture you can see. So it'll drop through that last bit of filter and back up to the tank. The change I made is I'm going to make this divider wall with kind of like a doggy door type thing on it, and it'll just have a hole down low, and then that way when it's time for me to put some copepods into my tank, I can just lift that slide up and open that hole to this section, and then that way my water will come in and flow out this way instead of just straight across and just cycling through here. Because water will always take its path of least resistance, and obviously if I cut that hole lower, and then open it just a little bit, and there'll be nothing but maybe like a real broad net there to keep like any of the algae and stuff to stay down here. But the copepods will easily be able to get pushed back up into the tank that way, and then I can, you know, close it back off, and then it just goes back to cycling the way it normally does. But that's kind of my layout right now, and then obviously depending on the size of the tank that I buy, this setup size will be fine. It's just changing your skimmer and pumps and stuff like that to the right volume for the size of the tank you got. But again, here's kind of a view. So like I said, water comes in, pumps through the UV, through this filter, then gets skimmed through that media filter. This will actually be 1-inch sand bed, and then I'm going to use a razor on top of, you know, kind of like an under gravel filter setup type thing out of egg crate. That'll give me a 1-inch gap between my sand bed and then my live rock. So there'll be consistent water flow all the way around my rocks, bottom and top, all the way in my refugium. And then obviously because it's sectioned, there'll be 2 different section pieces, so that this goes all the way down so that there's no copepods escaping when I didn't want them to. So yeah, that's basically it. Let me know what you guys think. The return line, I'm not sure if I'm doing center or the other side of the tank yet, but that'll all be determined. And then obviously this is all being built out of a 40 breeder, just like my display tank. So tell me what you guys think, and if you guys got any ideas for me, or if you need any ideas, and I'll see what I can do for you. Thanks for watching.